Hey, shalom, shalom. Hi, Rob Tawab, La Atam, Za'akyakam Yawam, Man Rachagadar, Charlotte, which is good evening. This is your brother Yawan from the GMS camp in Charlotte. Nacham Atam, Kaya, Hamalakwat Hashamayim, Kwara, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call Layim La Abanawa Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushua, Bahasham Racha Kwadash. Wamashana Lazakwanim now Wamalakam Shor Rachagadar, which is all praises to our Father Yahweh, which means he exists. Bahasham, and the name Yahweh Shai delivers, and double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. All right, so I pretty much was I was out, on the day to day, handling some errands, and I seen essentially a vulture, pretty much it was, walking kind of fast, and then pretty much one had walked up to some food that was on the ground. It was some goldfish. Somebody had dropped some goldfish. And it just gave me the thought of, the actual duty of a vulture, because right now, the earth is isn't in its correct course. So I just wanted to go into that because essentially Esau, even the so-called white man, has been given the power of the earth. I'm going to get that. This is Ayawab, Job, chapter 9, and we'll get verse 24, and it reads, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not where and who is he?" So Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, has been given, the power over the earth, so essentially his laws and his legislations are what goes throughout the earth, and essentially, he has set up these different expeditions, and a lot of times, I was watching a documentary one time on like one of these animal shows or whatever, and essentially, Esau, he had different expeditions of like people that would go out and do different things in the ocean, and long story short, those expeditions, they were funded by the so-called ooze, so pretty much the expeditions, they weren't trying to help the ecosystem, they were more so like destroying it, so all of these things can be tied back to who's in rulership, so I'm gonna get this real fast. This is Jeremiah chapter 12, and we'll get verse 1. It says, "Righteous art thou, O Lord, when I plead with thee, yet let me talk with thee of thy judgments. Wherefore doeth the way of the wicked prosper? Wherefore are all they happy that deal very treacherously? Thou hast planted them." The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, planted, essentially going is how they took root, It says, they grow, yeah, they bring forth fruit. Thou art near in their mouth, you see, because they continue blaspheming the Lord, The scriptures say that, the fool has said in his heart that there is no God, roughly paraphrasing. And that's essentially how Esau carries out his day to day, He essentially walks as if there is no power, and essentially going into some of his philosophies, his ways of life, his doctrines. All right, that's how he acts, He acts as he's the Most High, That's what he thinks in his mind. So it says, and far from their reigns, you see, because going into scriptures like Psalms, the 10th chapter, Job, I believe it's the 15th chapter or the 21st chapter, one of those, pretty much, they're not really thinking about, the law, statutes, and commandments. That's not what they push in their society, you see. So that's why everything is out of its course. That's why we see, the mass, I guess what you could call like genocide, so to speak, of like pigs and stuff like that, to where they're eating them. When pigs are supposed to serve as, scavengers, they're supposed to clean up the earth, just like a vulture is supposed to clean up the earth. And I actually got that right here. All right. So it says, yes, vultures are scavengers. All right. It says primary food source. It says vultures are obligate scavengers that primarily eat carrion, the remains of dead animals. And then, a lot of times it'll be, they do their job somewhat, but Esau has put roads in their different roads, and he builds up different things to where everybody is shacked up on top of each other. You see, even the animals. So a lot of times the roadkill, it sits in the road, when the vultures could have, in a righteous society, they could have been got to it, to clean it up. Because if you got that, in the society, it leaves, it can spread forth communicable disease. This is adaptations. It says vultures have many biological adaptations that make them well suited to scavenging, including excellent eyesight and a strong sense of smell, because vultures, I believe, they can see very well. So let me go into that real fast. And it says Da'ah. All right. And it says, I'm going to go to this real fast. This is Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse 13. Get this word for vulture. And it says Dayah. So and it says to fly, use a rapid flight of birds of prey. So a vulture pretty much goes into a bird of prey, but they have very good eyesight, you know. But it says importance. It says vultures play a crucial role in maintaining ecosystem services such as nutrient recycling, you know, and that's one thing too, you know. Esau got these different trash mountains, you know, you got Mount Trashmore. You know, Esau burns trash into the not the ecosystem, but into the air. All right, and essentially, it spreads for it. It pretty much destroys, you know, the air that we breathe. You know, or it destroys. It goes into the air that we breathe, which in turn, you know, is bad for our lungs. And he also cutting down the forces and stuff like that. You know, so that doesn't make it any better. So it says vultures play a crucial role in maintaining ecosystem services such as nutrient recycling, removing soil and water contaminants, and regulating the spread of diseases. There's a lot of diseases out here. So it says vultures are considered to be the most efficient scavengers efficient scavengers in the animal world, able to eat almost 40% of their body weight in bulk. You see, so that's pretty much their job, which it also goes into, you know, pigs are also scavengers as well. But then it says they conserve energy. It says scavengers help conserve energy and nutrients from carrion, which they can then disperse farther away than decomposers. You see, so they pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, they pretty much take it somewhere else where it shouldn't be at, you know. It says protecting humans. It says scavengers protect humans from disease by removing carrion before bacteria can grow, right? So pretty much they were going back to where it says conserve energy. Pretty much they remove what's not supposed to be around us, those different diseases. So it says scavengers act as a natural sanitation service, keeping the environment clean. Hey, and Esau pretty much has made it difficult for all these different animals, and you know how the earth is supposed to be ran. You know, he's essentially made it difficult for things to run how they supposed to be ran. So I'm gonna get a couple more precepts. We can get Thahoyim Psalms chapter 11 and verse 3, and it says, if the foundations be destroyed, what can the righteous do? All right, I'm gonna get this word for foundations, and it says Shatah. It says foundation, support, stay. It says purpose. All right, the purposes, you know, pretty much the earth it has a purpose. You know, all the whole creation has a purpose, you see. So I'm gonna read again. It says, if the foundations be destroyed, what can the righteous do? You know, that this devil has destroyed essentially the foundation, the purposes of what the Lord made everything for. You know, so it says, what can the righteous do? You know, we gotta wait on the Lord, you see, because the Lord say that essentially he's going to rise up to the prey, you see. So when the Lord rises up, all right, and he pretty much after Esau Edom is taken out of rulership, everything's going to be restored, you know. So we're waiting on the Lord, you know, to restore everything to its natural state in order, you see, because life can't continue on in this particular type of manner, you know. So continuing on, we'll get Thahoyim Psalms chapter 82. We'll get verse 5, and it says, They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. All the foundations, you see, all the purposes, you know, everything pretty much that was created for righteousness. Our Esau has thrown it out of course. All right, this word for foundation is mawasad, and it says foundations, and it says of building. It says laying a foundation. So pretty much going into, you know, the creation of everything. It says to begin to establish. It says be founded, you know, because the Lord he pretty much made everything to where it functioned. Esau has made things to where it's hanging on by a thread, you know. Nothing is functioning, you know, and if it is functioning, it's just hanging on by just a little bit, you know. So nevertheless, continuing on, let's get Quahalat Ecclesiastes chapter 8 or chapter 5, and we'll get verse 9. And it says, moreover, the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the field. So the profit of the earth, the goodness of the earth, the abundance of the earth is for all, So I get this in the NLT. It says, even the king milks the land for his own profit. So the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. You see, Esau currently has the earth in his hands. All right, he essentially has the fatness of the earth, and he's misusing it. You see, and that's why scriptures go into why he's essentially lacking. He's been found lacking righteousness. Let me get another one. This is Bon Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 1. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people. Esau's not doing that. That's why we see, Moses walking around. You got transmissions walking around. You got the woman over the man. That's a conversation in Babylon. All right, everything about this place is backwards, pretty much. And it says, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. This place isn't well ordered. It's confusion. Babal, confusion. It's confusion everywhere. All right, you got confusion in this man's legal system. All right, you got confusion in his politics. All right, his education system. Verse 2, or it says, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. Something that's well ordered. The scriptures say the Most High is not the author of confusion. You see, so again, just land back on the point. Esau is the author of confusion. When things are supposed to be ran in peace, Esau would want to have it the rather. All right, verse 2, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. All right, and that's essentially, the people that we see walking around, looking like they don't have a clue of what's going on, tripping. We see again, Moses, that's essentially what's in who are the political leaders, all right, who are the governmental leaders, all right, that, we seen Creepy Joe, and Trump. They worry about golf. So what is the average day-to-day American, so-called American worried about? They're worried about folly, and that's essentially what the leaders are worried about, folly. Verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. All right, an unwise king. Esau is the unwise king, and essentially, it's a scripture that says, Salat. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 16. It says, woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child, and thy princes eat in the morning. All right, let me get this in the NLT. And it says, what sorrow for the land ruled by a servant, the land whose leaders feast in the morning. Esau pretty much pushes a microwave society. You got to get it now. You got to get it as soon as possible. Instantaneous gratification, So essentially going into that unwise king that way. All right, verse 1 said that essentially, that people take on the spirit of the ruler, roughly paraphrasing. So if Esau's spirit is like, that's what he's teaching his people to be like, and that's how he destroys his people through this instantaneous society. That's why people, they want it right now. All right, this is a society thriving or surviving off of credit. So that goes along with that. They want it right now. Which doing that, how you spend your money. All right, that's ultimately how you think. Which that's not a very and not a very disciplined way to live. It says, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. You see, because when we go into the scriptures, it essentially goes into, you don't want to be a surety for a bond. You want to be able to afford the things that you want or that you need. So with that being said, it pushes for how you spend your money. Essentially is how how it's a reflection of how you live your life. So it's a much more conservative way, something that's going to be more sustainable than how life is ran, today. So it says, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited, which that pushes forth habitation, which when you go into habit, it means to live, you see, because right now, it's just, we're just here surviving. All right. So nevertheless, let's get Yeshaya Isaiah chapter 60. In verse 1 it says, Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. All right, gross is darkness over the earth. All right, and it says obscurity, darkness. It says wickedness, misery, destruction. This place is destroyed. I believe it was an article pretty much stating that it was like 50 years of topsoil left, and this was a couple years ago. So if this was to continue on, no flesh will be saved, you see, because it was another article pretty much saying that the birth rate was more than, it was like 53% of women younger than 30, they wasn't having children. So if the women aren't having children, all right, then you got a lot of guys, there's a shortage of men because, you got you got a lot of Jake in the prison systems, in the jail systems. You got a lot of Jake essentially that go the other way. It's not gonna push forth any life. So that's a way of darkness. It's obscurity. It's sorrow. It's misery. It's destruction. All right. So I'm gonna get this real fast, and I'm gonna get an example, and I'm gonna close it out. But this is 1 Corinthians chapter 14. We'll get verse 33, and it says, "For the Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints." All right. So the Lord is not the author of confusion. You see. So this is a way that we can see that Esau, isn't the people, because he's not following the way of peace. All right, he's following the way of instability. All right, living a life off of credit is instability. All right, living a life in Esau's fashions and lifestyles is instability. It's a state of disorder. All right, disturbance. It's very disturbing. If you're around someone that is very committed to the Babylonian lifestyle, it's a disturbance. You could feel the vibration from their spirit, and then it says confusion. It's tumultuous. All right. So I'm gonna get an example real fast. This is the word for fish. It's a lot. Right here, and the word for fish, it says dog. Dog. And essentially, it says, I'm gonna read it. It says dog. Then right here it says dog. It says or fully da'ag, which will be dog. It says from a fish as prolific, or perhaps rather from as timid, but still better from in the sense of squirming, i.e. moving by the vibratory action of the tail, in which it ultimately goes into that, you see, because the da is the door, which a door swings back and forth, and the ga is the feet. The ga in Hebrew would be feet, ragal. So pretty much moving. Pretty much it goes into how the tail moves, how it wags. So they took that and they applied that to an actual dog because they have tails. And that's the true nature of an Edomite. And I got a quote real fast. I'm gonna read. But this is from the word for metaphor in Edom Online, and it says, it is a great thing indeed to make a proper use of poetical forms, poetical forms, as also of compounds and strange words. But the greatest thing by far is to be a master of metaphor. It is the one thing that cannot be learnt from others, and it is also a sign of genius, since a good metaphor implies an intuitive perception of the similarity and dissimilars. Aristotle Poetics 1459 Alpha 3 through 8. You see, so essentially from that, that's pretty much the the mind state of a Edomite, because it said to see the similarity in dissimilars, because that's confusion, you know. Things that was created, they have a specific name. All right, we're not supposed to call a dog a fish, because the word dog, a dog in Hebrew would be kalab, ha kalab, the dog, or a dog, kalab, dog. That's how you would say fish, So that's one way that Esau pretty much has turned things backwards. I'm gonna get another one. I'm gonna get we get this. This is Isaiah Yeshaya chapter 29 and verse 15. And it says, "Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, Who seeth us, and who knoweth us? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not, or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding?" You see, so the world was made in understanding. Everything was made in understanding. You see, so Esau Edom, he's essentially tried to say, okay, well, there's no understanding in this. You see, and he's done that by pushing forth, renaming everything. Turning things upside down. I.e., the thing with the dog and the fish. Putting the woman over the man. Saying you can live as you want. All these things are examples of things being turned upside down, you see, but ultimately, he's going to be judged, for his treacherous acts to mankind, all right, and to the Lord's creation, you see. So, Adoran Tazah, Zabanaya Pa, Lords, who does a beautiful edification through the Spirit. Wa Adoran Tazah, Atham, Yashlai La Tawabe, Lord's will. You all have a good night. Wa Shalom Lakam, which is peace unto you. Wa Shalom.